Hi everyone, Irina here. Just wanted to talk to you guys today about my experience, my first experience in a float tank, also known as an isolation tank. If any of you out there listen to Joe Rogan, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. He's pretty famous for making float tanks, pretty famous. So let's get to it. First of all, I'm going to explain what a float tank is. So it's a place where you go where you are floating in a tank of Epsom salts. These salts make you float, so there's zero gravity being pushed towards your body. The water in this tub is of your skin temperature, so after a while of being in there, you can't even tell the difference from the water in your skin. It's totally dark. You get earplugs, you can't hear anything. You get your sensory awareness taken away from you. So you basically get left with just your mind. And float tanks are really beneficial, obviously, because one, you don't have gravity affecting you, which is absolutely huge, because gravity plays a big part in a lot of our issues. A lot of our issues with our bones, with our bodies, with our pains. So this is even better than going upside down in yoga, which is inversions. That's also amazing for fighting the effects of gravity, but this is even better because you're doing nothing. You're putting in no effort, like zero completely. So when you don't have gravity affecting you, you don't have your sensory awareness there, it's easier for your mind to do things that are really beneficial for you. Your mind has more resources that it can draw on to make you feel good. You release endorphins and dopamine. So overall, it's a really healthy experience for somebody to have. But the way that I like to look at it, for me, it's more like a meditation tool. So my experience today, I'm going to start off by saying I thought it was going to be completely different. I've heard many people went in there and they freaked out and whatever, but I didn't get that. So it wasn't freaky at all. If anything, it was a little bit difficult, mind-wise. But so I'm going to talk about a little bit about how it went. I went there in the morning. My appointment is at 9. You have to have a shower before you go in, so they provide everything. You shower when you're there, and then you get into this tub. The lights go off. It's completely dark, and after an hour, I went for an hour. So after an hour, the lights come back on, and you hear a little music, and you kind of wake up and get out and shower again. So that's the procedure. What happened to me as soon as the lights went off is I tried adjusting to what was going on. So at first, I almost felt a little bit claustrophobic. I was like, oh my God, it's so dark in here. I don't know where I am. A little bit scary, but then I got used to it really fast. And then I noticed that I could hear my breathing. So I tried focusing on my breathing as much as I possibly could. It was really nice to not feel gravity. Like, just the floating of itself was really relaxing, and I really love that part. And a good thing that I think this is super awesome about being in a float tank is that you get to learn about yourself. So what I mean by that is when thoughts arise in your mind, you can instantly tell what that does in your body, because you're so in tune with what's going on inside, because you can't feel what's going on outside. So you can feel if your heart starts speeding, if your heart comes down, so you can see what kind of thoughts you're thinking and how it's making your heartbeat. If it's making you hot or cold, or just any sensation that's inside your body, you can feel according to which thoughts you're thinking about. So it's kind of like a guidance system. Like, you know, these thoughts are bad, they're giving you anxiety. These thoughts are good, they're making you calm down. My biggest hurdle today was that I couldn't let go. I had a really hard time letting go of thoughts. At one point I was like, okay, I'm just gonna count. 1, 2, 3, I'd get to like 60 or 70, and then thoughts would come in. And it was so hard for me to let go. And there's a couple of times where I would start feeling it, and then I would feel like slip away, and then bam, a thought would come in, and I would just jolt back to reality. So it's not as freaky as people feel or think, because I mean, you're still aware of your body. I was still aware of my body. All you have to do in the water is just go like this and feel your fingers, and you're like, oh yeah, I can move. So people don't need to be freaked out about that at all. It is really hard though. It's really hard to let go, and the biggest realization I had from today is that this is something I'm going to need to do every week, or at least a couple of times a month, because it's such a powerful meditation tool, and it made me realize how important meditation is. It made me realize that I really don't have good control of my mind, and if I want to achieve anything in life and be great as I want to be, I'm going to have to really, really take more time to meditate. That little poster I made a while ago about, having a quiet meditation for 10 to 15 minutes a day and just doing yoga and working out for 4 hours, I'm going to have to change that around a little bit now, because I've realized that I need a lot more than 10 to 15 minutes of meditation a day, because I couldn't let go in there. And that just proves that 10 to 15 minutes of meditation isn't doing it for me. I need a lot more time to sit there and learn how to let go of any kind of thoughts that come into my head. Another thing I want to add in, kind of a side note, but in the last 15 minutes I had a really, really hard time because I had to go to the bathroom. I really had to pee, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was trying to relax while holding it in at the same time, and it wasn't good. It was messy in the last 15 minutes. Even though they tell you, go to the bathroom before you go in, I went to the bathroom, but now I learned my lesson. The next time I do this, I am not going to have anything to drink for 2 hours prior, because it really screws up with your meditation when you're in there, when you're like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom, and you're in a bunch of water too, so that doesn't necessarily help. But I hope that this video lets you guys know that this is something that you should go out and experience. It's incredibly beneficial, and I recommend it to seriously every single person in the world. If you want to know more about it, if you want to get in touch with me, leave me a comment, leave me a message, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks.